It's true. In real life. Now that's pretty much what Sting is, right? Like Sting is pretty much haunted by a hatred for orcs. Because elves hated orcs so goddamn much that they made it.
I think the only way not to be any better is if you DIY poorly your own sword. Because you know the theme and for some reason the sword also causes orcs to fill up with smoke.
Just do something you enjoy, I guess, man. Don't spend a decade in a restaurant. That's what I would recommend.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Thank you for waiting. Sorry we are a little bit late. I put that entirely on myself. I had a work emergency, and so we are a couple of minutes after our usual 6 o'clock start time. That being said, we don't really have any updates for this week. Beyond that, I'm going to be returning as Freckled. Elena is unfortunately just not available to continue, so I'm probably just going to be picking up this role for the rest of the playtest. That being said, Corey, I think there aren't any other real announcements, so if you want to just pick it up and go into it, take the wheel.
Absolutely. Last session, we ended at the we ended in the Starlight Township, and you all met a few people. Sorry, I thought I was organized. I guess I wasn't.
The classic GM curse.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, yeah. You all had gone to Midgards as the storm rolled into the Starlight Township, effectively stopping you from leaving, which is fine. But you all arrived at Starlight. Unexpectedly, the town still stood. You weren't expecting to find anyone or anything there, but there it was. You had an interesting run-in with Madeline Proctor, who is an eccentric about town, and she pulled guns on you, is essentially what happened. But I guess I should probably get on Roll20. I realize now I was on Twitch instead of Roll20.
It's the same thing, really. Yeah.
That being said, you have noticed a few things around town, mostly miners with 1,000-yard stare, which is something that was pointed out to you by the chief porter, Muck, when you were in Ishtos proper. Just as a reminder, Starlight Township is a satellite city of Ishtos. They deliver something that they mine is these crystalline fibers from a hole in the mountain that was put there by an iron ship of the Nocturne a long time ago, and it still stands. Do you all have anything you remember or would like to add to the recap? Because
oh yeah. So I'll just put the big one out there. The session ended on a fucking wild thing. We were all settling in to go to bed, and I believe it was Adam's character.
Grail, yes.
Yeah, Grail went outside and saw like this giant storm of energy outside of the mountain. We learned that the ship is formerly of the Nocturne. These are like sky pirates that apparently lost the ship a long time ago in some kind of a failed raid. But that there seems to be a weird, mysterious energy emanating out of it. I remember just because it was a very cool description.
Right, so the ship still has like the suspensors that it used to lift itself, which created basically like a force field around the mine, keeping like the harm of those crystalline fibers from getting out into the town, which would effectively create an ecological disaster. It also has the benefit of providing like a marginal amount of protection against the storms. So when you went outside, Grail, what you were seeing was like the storm interacting with like the residual energy of this ship that is still running, lighting up the night sky. The Nocturne being like sky pirates, they have iron masks. The Dragoon people, they ride lightning. They're pretty nuts, and they don't say a ton. But that being said, Grail also felt a pull. Yeah, tell us about this.
Yeah, so apparently Grail felt some sort of not entirely comprehensible pull to the Nectarines, the Nocturine's skyship. And it was like this, it woke me up. Like, it's the sort of thing that was loud enough that it woke me up and seemed to compel or draw me out in the middle of a sandstorm. Why Grail, of all people, experienced this and was subject to this most pointedly leaves is still a mystery, but the fact that Grail is also a little bit of a paranoid conspiracist means you gave this to the exact right person.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounded like singing, but like emanating from inside of you, pulling you outside. So that's sort of what happened. Let's go to just a quick overview of the contract. You guys have 5 days. You have taken 1 day to travel thus far. Going to Starlight Mines. They have missed 7 contracted deliveries. So you are looking for 7 crates of crystalline fiber. You have suspected highwaymen in the Starlight Mines as territory and threats to expect. Here's another thing. I don't know if we covered this during this part of negotiation. Anything that's under territory and threats, you get a bonus die whenever you're rolling against that thing, rolling to uncover things like that. So if you're in the actual mines, or if you're facing highwaymen, like, you'd get a bonus die, which is like why it pays to like investigate when you're doing contract negotiation, try to get as much information as you can out of them. You're looking for the cause and the pause of delivery as an additional term. Your default liability is 5 petty coin. Your payment is 5 petty coin. You also have the rights to salvage beyond the 7 crates that you are looking for. And then just as an overview of the caravan, which is Steve the Eviscerator, a semi-sentient truck that is all fucking Fallout waste case. It is rusted to shit and spiked and out of control. So that is something to bear in mind. Your quirks are diplomacy, cities, and academics. So anytime you are facing those things, you lose a die on your die pool. But in exchange, your car is pretty fucking rad. So bear in mind, anytime you guys behave in a threatening demeanor, I will throw a D12 out. If you think you're being threatening and I'm not picking up on it, let me know, and I will throw that D12 out.
Okay.
But that being said, we will arrive back in Starlight Township. It is the morning after, and the storm is still raging outside. It is about the level it was last night in the evening. You know, in Ishtos and the surrounding area, these storms can go days. So this isn't particularly surprising, but it has made visibility low, which has worked out in your favor. Madeline Proctor was not able to find you because of some quick maneuvering, I believe, from Zarkus, who rolled out of the way and got you guys the fuck out of there before those metal guns came flying at you. You also met Meph last night, who is the butler, the builder butler of the Councilman Ether. But if you look at the map, you can see a couple things. This is Madeline Proctor's house. Tungsten Mother. This is kind of like the general store, quartermaster area. This is Midgard's, which is a drink well, and Councilman Ether. And then up top, way past all this shit, is where the Starlight Mines is.
Okay.
But I leave it to you all the next morning.
Excellent. Well, Grail is certainly a bit unsettled by all of this. Not speaking to all of you because he doesn't know how much you know. And probably is inclined towards getting as much information as we can. We have again been given an open invitation to the councilman's estate. Grail does not trust them. That's a general thing, but he doesn't trust them especially more than he doesn't trust anything. But that does not mean that as a foreclosed option. Grail would probably want to go, maybe now that like the Nocturne ship is not glowing, go straight to the mines and investigate them.
So you do know that the mines have been locked down to the public for safety concerns. So just bear in mind, getting in there is going to take some amount of finagling, fast talking, or sneaking in.
Nice. Well, I do like to finagle, so that's not off the table for me.
For sure.
There's also loves to finagle every now and again.
Hell yeah. Who doesn't love a good finagle?
Okay. I'm actually honestly down with that idea. Especially, let me ask you this. Do you relay the events of last night to the rest of us when we wake up, Grail?
I think Grail doesn't convey the totality of it, but he mentioned something to the effect that he was woken up last night by the ship that's stuck into the crevice up there, was going more prominently during the day, obviously, and making a lot of noise. Just but he kind of like glosses over it as just, to be concerned about this, or be aware of this. We're going up there, not like, Grail is hearing the X-Files theme in his head, which he is. More like it seems to be still powered and functioning, not something to the effect of like, I think it calls to me and I must answer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then in that case, I do think that with that knowledge in hand, I actually think that Freckle is much more likely to want to come along, and I'd be willing to break the rules and check out those mines.
All right. Do keep in mind, you were invited to the gates of the councilman's house the next day. Meph invited you to set up an appointment. And I believe Midgard said he could make an actual introduction to Madeline Proctor, who claims is not really all that bad, just a bit eccentric.
Yeah.
But those are two things to bear in mind. But if you guys want to go straight to the mines, just tell me how you want to do this.
Well, can you describe what we're looking at when we get to wherever the entrance to the mines are? When you say it's locked down, are there just guards or?
So there is a long road going up to the mine proper, which leads to like a compound, and there are guards is probably the wrong word necessarily. There are a lot of miners milling about, but you would say that like they are standing guard, and you do know that people have not been allowed up.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Which does lead, like, a month ago, there was a rumbling in the mine. They said that there was a safety thing that occurred. So people have been working a lot, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. And, like, my only thing is, and obviously every society is going to handle this stuff differently. When there's like a safety hazard and you're not allowed to go into a place like that, it's not often they're going to have like a bunch of people standing guard at the entrances. Like there will be people there for sure. And I guess it makes sense that there's going to be some security. Something about this just feels off to me. It feels like overkill.
Yeah.
That being said, like, it's a long road up, and there's definitely like you could maneuver the rocks to try to sneak around these things. Because it's like a long central road where they pull like wagons full of things down so they can go deliver them. But I mean, like, there's open crags and stuff alongside that as well.
Okay. I've got a couple thoughts on how to do this, but I want to put it to the table first.
I think Grail would probably be inclined towards taking the stealthier but more circuitous route, like sort of traversing the rocks, if only to obscure our approach.
Yeah.
I feel like Zarkus's train of thought would go more towards like, are there any miners coming back from the mines and can we steal their clothes?
Okay, this is exactly where my brain went, because it's also an opportunity for us to build up some caravan die by being very threatening.
Sure.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, why don't we do like this is you're trying to discern some sort of pattern to people leaving. You're trying to pick like what the outfit would be. I think this is like a pretty solid clockwork deduction. I think that it is probably a best roll because you're trying to discern what exactly you need to steal, and I think that might take somebody with a bit more of an expert knowledge of mining to know like what you need to get in. But I don't think it's more than one. I think it's you need a 1 or 2 on this roll. That being said, I think like anyone can do it as a joint roll. You could probably all do it as a joint roll.
And so, okay. Cool, and we are, in this case, our approach and skills are going to be...
Clockwork deduction.
Clockwork deduction. Okay, well, if there's one thing that Grail can do, it's deduce. Okay, so that is... I'll take a shot at this one. That is 3... Oh, go ahead.
Zarkus got distracted by a butterfly. I rolled a 12.
Yeah, this is going to be 3d12s. That's a...
Damn.
A 6, a 6, and a 2.
Hey, that is a success. Hell yeah.
I don't have anyone's rolls coming up.
I'm using...
Oh, okay.
I also rolled a physical die.
Fine, that is totally fine. I was just making sure that Roll20 wasn't like not updating for me. A 2 is a success. You're able to, and it takes some time, right? Like, these people are working like overtime. They are spending nights and like weeks at a time up in the compound. So the actual movement is slow. So I think it takes most of the morning for you to discern like the kind of pattern that is coming down. But you do it enough where you can find like a lapse in that front. I'm going to say guards, even though that they are like kind of just milling, where like there's an exchange of people at that station, and at the same time somebody's coming down, and you find that lapse, and you're able to notice that like the actual mining outfit is kind of what you see around town, except they have these rebreathers that like work as in tandem with a cloak kind of over the head. You imagine to protect them against the elements. It looks like it attaches to another part of a suit, but the masks seem to come down with them anyways. So that is something to bear in mind. But I'll say with a 2, like that is a complete success. You find enough for 3 people to come down. So you see them coming down, and there is just like a window where nobody is around them.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay.
We're
Bottle?
gonna have to stick them up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I thought that was just kind of a given. Bobble, listen. We're not killing these ones.
If you don't, they can go back and tell the others.
Bobble, we're not killing
I'm
these
telling
ones.
you. Then you'll
I'm
have to do
telling you.
something.
No. We'll figure it out. I'm just telling you, because I know
You'll
you
have
fly off the handle.
something with them.
Yeah, no, we're gonna do something with them. I don't know. We'll put them in some mining equipment or something like that. But no killing. Okay?
Your time will be limited.
You just keep giving me reasons. Okay, yeah, so how are we doing this? Just kind of the usual smash and grab? Do you guys want to do like a distraction?
Yeah, I think what Grail might do is Grail might take his rifle and like fire not at them, but like basically like hit one of the rocks, so it sounds like there's like a loud, sort of like abrupt noise coming from not our direction. What would that roll be?
Okay, yeah. Actually, this is fun. You guys tell me your plan as you go instead of the whole thing at once. I want to break this down into the component pieces.
That's neat.
Okay, cool. I think that is an expert shot, so this is going to be a best roll. You're trying to do it without drawing the attention that it's coming from where you are, and you're doing it in this short time period. So I think it's a 2 best, probably clockwork, skullduggery. I think that makes the most sense.
Okay, clockwork skullduggery. That can be done. In which case that is 2 d12s for Grail here. Whoops,
And
wrong
it is
guy.
did you say it's a best roll?
Yes, it is a best roll, meaning you need two 1s and 2s. If you guys want to help, let me know how you want to do it, and you can.
I got a 9 and a 2.
Oh, that is 1 success.
1. Okay, how can I help with this? He's firing a gun. I don't know. Can I, Shit, can I suggest he goes prone to get a better shot?
Sure. I mean, I think what you're doing is acting as, the sniper spotter, which is, an actual thing that snipers have.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. That was the intent. What do I roll?
I think that this is probably also clockwork.
Parlay?
I don't think it's parlay. Maybe appraisal? Clockwork appraisal?
Clockwork appraisal? Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Clockwork
And that
appraisal.
goes to you, Taylor.
Yeah, that's 1d10.
That's a 1, baby!
Oh, what?
Reroll it. Okay, that's 2 successes. That's all you needed.
Holy
you
shit.
Can't
fire this
believe that worked.
Grail's leveling his gun. Actually, you guys describe how it happens. Tell me what happens.
Yeah. So in preparation of doing this, Grail puts approximately 3 cigarettes between his robotic teeth and just sort of lights them all. Just takes a big inhale, like he's setting his nerves, and sort of gets down into the prone position and sort of takes his sort of large marksman rifle from his side of his arm.
Yeah.
And sort of aims towards what looks like a large rock in the distance, with the intention of not hitting a person, hitting a rock. As this is happening,
Yeah, I
Taylor.
actually think that Freckle is down on the ground right next to you, holding Bobble like a gun, and saying okay, find the rock. Which one does he hit? And then Bobble tells me, and then I tell Grail.
Yeah, and this slug leaves your rifle, and it shimmers as it fires, and it goes from visible and it just into invisibility, and silently goes out and smacks the rock next to these people, drawing their attention away from you. What are you guys doing?
Zarkus, this is
that's
all
for
you,
the rest
baby.
of you.
Yeah.
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 I think
so-
priority number 1 should be whatever you do, just try and get them off the road where they can't be seen as easily.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, where Grail and Freckle are up on a higher vantage point, Zarkus is hiding in bushes nearby.
Yeah.
Their dagger is at the ready, and they are about to hold it to these people's throats.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. So you are going to pop out. I think that this is. I'm going to give you a die going forward for what they just did, drawing their attention away. I don't think it takes an expert to threaten somebody with a knife. That being said, there are 2 of them. And I'm going to make and for another reason, which I'm not stating, I'm going to make this a 3 half roll. And this is a, what do you call it? Ferocity parlay. I think like that, yeah, you're gonna threaten them with the knife, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is ferocity parlay, 3 half.
Okay. 3 half?
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna throw a D12 on the board because you are directly threatening human beings, directly threatening living beings with a knife. You don't get much more threatening than that.
Yeah, exactly. So a 3 half would just be I'm rolling 3.
So you're going to want 3 successes. Anything 6 or under counts as a success if it's a D12. So I don't know what you're rolling.
D10.
Okay, so
5 or under. So
you need 3 successes.
that's a 9.
That's a 9. Does anyone want to help out? Can anyone think of a way to help out?
Okay, and you're
I actually do have something I can use to help.
Yeah.
I have an inconspicuous cloak, which when attempting to disappear into a crowd, you can re-roll 1 die. Would you be willing to use that, like where I give him my cloak, and then he can use that to kind of like...
I'll throw another die onto the die pool.
All right, cool. I'm loaning it to you, Zarkus. I want that back.
That still means he's going to need to hit a 1 twice in order to do this, unless you want to like back him up in some way.
I think physically I actually can't, right? I'm up with
Grail over here.
yeah, I'm up
Yeah.
with Grail. I don't
Yeah.
think I physically can back him up.
I mean, you can move. Like you're not stuck where you are.
Well, but this is all happening super quick, right? It's like the shot, and then he runs out of the bushes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can definitely come up behind him if there's enough time for that. I'll be happy to.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to like run down on them, they'll see you coming. I think that's intimidating. Like,
Okay, yeah, sick. Then I jump off of the perch where we're at, bobble in hand, and I scream at them to get off the road, motherfuckers.
okay, yeah, I think that's also ferocity. Man, I don't know if that's parlay. Maybe impression. Ferocity impression.
Okay.
And so Zarkus, you can re-roll that die because, well, add another die to your die pool basically because Taylor lent you his cloak. And Freckle, go ahead and give me that roll. And if you guys can get 3.
That is 2 successes.
That's 2, so we just need 1.
That sputtered for a second. Sorry
Okay,
about
okay.
that. So another 9 on my end.
Unfortunately, as you come bearing down on these folks, your sword in hand, they look over at you, and it's as if they're staring through you. There's no fear on these people's faces as you bear down on them with weapons. And one of them tightens his... You can see, like, his wrist and arm tightening as you approach.
Zarkus, I think we're doing this the hard way, buddy.
Yep. So Zarkus re-holsters their dagger, and they take out their pipe rifle and cock it. And it's just like,
Okay.
listen.
I just need 1 second to grab a... We are still... I think that the goal for this combat, because we are entering a combat situation, is to prevent these people from making it back to the mine, whatever that looks like. Because if it's to prevent them from ringing the guard bell. The guard bell is at the top of the hill. It's like where they crossed through that sector where there was people standing guard. There is like a bell, and they are going to head there. You are going to have 2 turns to stop them from making this move. I actually don't have this approach, so I will see if I can. Gonna have to give me 1 second, boys.
You good?
Adaptation brutality.
Yeah, I think this will work. So if you guys want to flip to the combat section of the book.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Gotta roll initiative.
You are going to have to roll initiative.
What's everybody's traversal skill? I have a 2.
Traversal?
Traversal.
2.
Yeah, I'm pulling up something called Players or Quick Rolls by a fellow named Taylor Lanham.
Oh no! Don't trust that dude. He's an idiot. No, you gotta go to the actual doc, the whole book. Whatever quick play rules you're looking at, those are definitely outdated.
Is it in the Roll20 interface?
Oh
no.
It's its own PDF.
Titled.
While we get this sorted out, I'll go ahead and tell the audience here, it is its own PDF. It's a beautiful 46-page full book that Corey handmade and illustrated and did the graphic design for, and I wrote and did some of the editing for. And it's available for free download through DriveThruRPG and Itch. You can find the link for it at tgsgames.com/download. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat now, but give it.
Also, if you do... Yeah, and check out the errata page, too, because there is a mistake.
Yeah. To be fair, there's like a mistake. It was way less than we thought it was.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Great. I have Vault Peddlers IE open right here.
Okay.
IE.
So
is that the Google Doc?
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Oh man, buddy, hang on 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can get you the core rules easily. 1 sec.
As Taylor does that, I'm going to go over basically how combat works. Combat in Vault Peddlers is gang tactics. It is based on faction turns, so you guys can, within your faction, split up how you're doing things. If Zarkris wants to move, and then Adam wants to attack, and then Taylor wants to move, like, that's encouraged because you can set up situations that you might not be able to otherwise. That being said, you are going to do a couple things. First, you're going to roll for initiative. This is going to be representative of the faction. That's a traversal plus your approach half roll. The approach that person picks, they are stuck with for the first round of combat. You have to declare your approach, and that is the approach you roll with for whatever for that round of combat, including defense. If you choose the same approach on your next round of combat, that approach degrades. Meaning, if you choose your best one and you have a D8, it becomes a D10 on the next one, as people start to be able to guess what you're going to do because you're doing the same kind of things. You are going to just covering movement. Every player on the board adds 5 movement to the pool. You can all move 5, or you can split up your movement. Say Adam and Zarkus only want to move 1 space, so they could set up. I almost called him Duo. So they can set up Freckle to like go and cut something off ahead, giving him effectively like 14 or 13 hexes to move. That's fine. You guys can do that. It's you making the strategy of whatever you're doing. There's wounds that you could take. Most importantly, you are going to notice that I gave the combat a round limit, which is 2. In 2 turns, they are going to ring that guard bell unless you can stop them or at least get the momentum in your favor in the combat. So you have 2 turns to get things done, basically. This is to prevent combat going on for infinity.
Yeah.
Because I don't like that.
Get like a cartoon-esque, like they keep like knocking each other down and pulling them back.
Yeah.
Well, I think anybody who's played D&D knows what a slog combat can become, where like you've got a 3-hour-long conflict going on, and it's just never fun.
That being said, like I do think that there's like more, I mean, like Pathfinder combat, and maybe it's because of the like action economy and like there's like a bit more even footing between martial and casters in it, but like I think it could be satisfying if you're looking for that kind of game. But I don't know. That being said, did you share that with Adam?
Unfortunately, we're a victim of our own success. The file is too big to share on Discord and Google Drive, which means it's going to need to be downloaded. So, Adam, I'm going to send you the link to our website. It's a free download.
That's a shame. We could have gotten some money out of this.
Yeah, I know, right?
That being said, whoever has the highest traversal roll, probably, you guys want to decide who wants to give me a roll?
So I have a 2, and I think Zarkus has a 2, right? Okay, Zarkus, if you want to go ahead and take this, because I'm otherwise occupied, that would be great.
Okay, yeah, Zarkus. Choose what approach you want to be in for the first round of combat. And I am going to choose my approach for them. And I think I'm going to choose... Yeah.
I think,
Oh, that's Twitch.
spoiler might be good here.
Oh yeah, did you guys not pick your provinces?
We did
Make
not,
sure to
but
pick
I'm going to pick Reckoner now.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think Grail's gonna keep on spoiling.
Spoiler 2, still spoiling.
Okay. They got 2 successes.
Okay.
All right,
Cool.
Adam,
So-
I have just sent you
let
a
me-
link to the Drive-Thru RPG download. It's a free
Okay, cool.
download. So yeah, just navigate your way through there, and you'll have the actual book that has all of the updated stuff in it.
Get it free. Hell yes.
I rolled a 2 and a 4.
Okay. What on a what? What die?
For the traversal check, D12.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's 2 successes, 2 successes. I'm gonna give it to you guys to go first. So tell me how you guys want to do this. You have 2 turns to stop them, or at least get the momentum in your favor. Because at the end of 2 turns, I will narratively describe what happens in combat. But
you're taking the lead on this, my man. Go for it.
Yeah. So, Zarkus, realizing that they have failed in simply brandishing their dagger, pulls out their rifle, but they don't try to fire it. They instead ready the butt of their rifle, which has a pretty hefty stock on it.
Yeah.
And like they just fucking bum rush it and try to bash these guys' heads to try and knock them out.
Yeah. So you are going to roll. Does your rifle have any special shit on it?
I forget. Let me double check.
Just everyone bear in mind. Go on.
It has the flash tag.
Okay, cool. I was just seeing if it had a +1 or anything like that. So yeah, you're just like you're bum rushing them with this, right? So whatever approach you're choosing, what approach did you choose for the traversal roll?
Rope walker.
What approach, like the like clockwork adaptation?
Ferocity.
Okay, cool. So you were going to give me a ferocity brutality roll.
Ferocity brutality. I love that. So that is a D10 times 2. One.
Okay.
3.
All right.
1.
Yeah, keep going.
Hell yeah, fuck it up.
4.
Okay, cool. So you got 2 extra successes. You got 1 extra success because they rolled a defense of 2, negating 2 of your successes. You whack this dude. As soon as you hit him, he goes down, unconscious. Boom! You have another success. How do you want to spend that? Do you want to hit another guy?
I go for the second guy and I bash their head and he...
Yeah, describe what it looks like when you come in on these dudes.
Yeah. So Zarkus tries to be sneaky, realizes that they're probably tipped off to their location, so they quickly reholster their dagger. They pull their rifle off of their back and they bum rush behind them, trying to decide if I want them to say like a cool catchphrase or if I just want them to just like fucking bash their
always do the
head
cool
silently.
catchphrase.
Always do the cool catchphrase.
They say something. I can't actually think of anything, but like.
And that's the news.
I couldn't actually think of anything. You say you brain these dude. You bring the butt of this rifle down, and like you said, it's heavy. The first hit sounds like a sack of goddamn potatoes going down. The second is pretty fucking similar. These 2 hit the dust and just boom, boom. There is 1 left. Y'all, what are you doing?
Yeah. So with Zarkus having knocked 2 of them out, Freckle is close behind. I land from my jump, since we're doing the ridiculous Marvel shit, in a perfect 3-point stance. And I run towards the third one, I slide under him, and I grab his legs, and I fucking twist.
Okay.
Bringing him down as quickly as I can.
What approach are you using?
I feel like that's gotta be adaptation. I I guess maybe
What-
ferocity, but it sounds like skullduggery.
I mean, it's whatever. I mean, just tell me what approach you're picking for this combat round, and we will use that approach.
Oh, okay. Adaptation then.
Okay, cool. Adaptation, and then I think that I think skullduggery makes a lot of sense. You're doing some tricky maneuvers here.
Cool. Then I am going to use... oh, well, actually, we'll see what happens with the D8. Oh, that's a failure, unfortunately. Anybody have an objection to me using that D12?
Go for it.
All right, cool. I'm going to see if I can... I would really like to get him tripped up. That's a 1, baby!
Reroll it.
Okay, so 1 success.
Unfortunately, he got 3 successes. You try to... I mean, he just steps over you. He's moving, like, very automatically. Almost like... It's very clean. Something you wouldn't expect from somebody who, like, lives in this town. It isn't, like, trained professionals in this town, but these movements are automatic. And he's right over you. We still have somebody in the faction who has yet to do anything.
Fuck it up, Grail.
All right, so I see basically my compatriots having unexpected success in knocking out 2 of these 3 folks, if I'm getting the passage of time here correctly.
Yeah.
We have one, basically have a couple turns of return left. One person just like gunning it away. We've already committed bodily harm. Grail is going to try to aim for the legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kneecap him.
All right, and what would that? I'm looking at the combat rules here.
So pick whatever approach you want to be stuck in for this round of combat. Meaning that if they like turn around and attack you, your defense will be based on that approach as well. And then I will tell you what you were rolling for a skill.
Yeah, I'm tempted to think, like, since Grail is still hidden, or he's out of sight, would this be an obfuscation?
So here's the thing: with combat, you decide what you want to. I mean, I think that makes the most sense narratively.
Yeah.
But like by mechanics of the game, you just decide what you want, what approach you want to be in for that round.
Yeah. I think this is I'm gonna stick with obfuscation here.
Yeah. You know what? I think like what you're doing here is probably deduction. You were doing like a Sherlock Holmesian, finding the kneecap and.
All right.
This must register on an emotional level.
Yeah.
That's 3 d8s. That's a 5?
Fuck.
Yeah, that is a 5, a 2, and a 3.
So
a 2 and a 3 gets it. They got 1 success. So you bring this. You bring your rifle down to aim. Tell me what it looks like. How do you bring this guy down?
So Grail is basically heartily puffing away at the 3 cigarettes clenched between his teeth. It's like looking down the scope, and is watching. I'm assuming this fellow or fellowess run, and Grail is almost like trying to lead the target as best as he can, and basically does the whole thing, anticipates where the kneecap is going to be, and sort of like grits his teeth and sort of fires off a single shot. Probably hitting them, sounds like, squarely in the leg.
Yeah, they go right down, and like that blood starts gushing into the sand. How many successes did you get?
Just 1.
Just 1? Okay.
Success in this case, right?
Yeah, 2's a success. It was half roll for this.
Oh, so I got a 2 and a 3 and a 5.
Okay, cool. So that is how many successes?
Dose.
2. Okay, so here's the thing. He goes down. Guys, you took down this combat in 1 round. They didn't even get to go. You stopped them from ringing the bell. However, you didn't get any extra successes here, and your gun made some noise.
It has a silencer. Corey does a silencer.
What's the, is it concealable?
Yep.
Okay, what's the concealable say?
Concealable, Yeah, it's a +3 marksman sniper rifle with conceal.
Okay, so I'm just gonna look up what conceal does.
That might be like physically concealed, or the sound is concealed. Look.
Well, yeah, we can figure out. Here's the thing. In order to do that, it's using the tag on your weapon. What do you guys have for petty coin right now?
Nothing, I believe.
Did everyone spend all of their petty coin?
I definitely did, looking at my gear.
I want to say we have one left after the bar.
Yeah, I think I spent one petty coin at the bar, which means I think I have one left. Just exactly one.
Okay. What do you know? What your imbuement rank on your weapon is?
+3.
Okay. So, unfortunately, with a +3, it will cost 2 petty coin to use your tag. If y'all have any more petty coin in the thing, you can definitely pool it. And attempts to uncover these items are a 2 best roll. You know what? I'm going to say it's actually... Looking at that, Taylor, I'm going to do a quick edit here. It doesn't make sense if we were talking about that modular approach to the tag system, that it would cost more for a tag to cost. So if you want to spend your last petty coin here, you can.
And that would basically prevent it down from...
It's going to give you a chance.
I say keeping subterfuge is probably our best bet, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Go for it.
Yeah, let's go with keeping ourselves hidden.
Okay, so I'm going to be making a roll, and I will be making this roll publicly. And I'm going to use this person to make this roll. I have to make a 2 best roll. By the rule of concealed, to attempt to uncover these items start as a 2 best roll. I think it's hearing, which is I don't know, Taylor, what do you think? Physical or research for hearing as far as skill goes?
I would assume physical.
Okay, cool. Physical, and I think that it's a holistics roll. So this person is going to roll 4d10. They have to hit 2 best in order to hear this.
Pray for high numbers. That's 1, baby!
There's 1 success. Grail. Describe to me what it looks like when you activate the tag on your weapon, when you use petty coin on this thing to make it do this.
Okay, yeah, so Grail slots in some petty coin. And the thing shimmers a little bit, like as sort of like, because it's already like a cloaked weapon that's designed to look, chameleon with whatever's around it. So Grail slots in some petty coin, and you can almost like see it almost like, it looks like, for lack of a better word, the weapon gets colder. Like, you know how like guns and things that fire projectiles of any kind using gunpowder or any other source of propulsion tend to get warmer? Like somehow this thing cools off. Like, it almost gets like a little bit of a blue twinge to it. And it almost, you can, if you were like next to, kind of like right next to it where Grail is like literally holding up, you'd hear sort of a low sort of like
sick
sound to it. And as soon as it fires, like you just hear nothing aside from a blink.
And he goes down into the dirt. Blood starts shooting into the sand. No sound is emanated from these 3 miners. I mean, that being said, there are still 3 miners on the ground, all unconscious.
Yeah, I'm gonna run over to the one that got shot. Priority number 1 is getting them off the road, but once I have them off the road, are they in danger of dying, does it look like? Is the wound really serious?
No. I think, Grail, you were shooting just to kneecap them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think they're, like, I mean, it's a wound, right? Like they definitely gangrene could always take control, but it is. They got shot in the leg, but like no, they're not like gonna die.
They're not bleeding out. They didn't hit like a femoral artery or anything.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, I'm gonna get to work taking that fucking uniform off. That thing is mine now.
Okay.
So
what are you gonna do with these bodies? It's more what I'm curious about.
It's a really good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think your sword, what's its name?
Bobble?
Bobble lights up at that.
Yeah,
This
no, I'm sure he does.
Is what I was telling you about. Because you've harmed them, and now you have nowhere to put them.
Yeah, Bobble.
They'll wake up, and they'll alert others.
Bobble, I know how it works. This is not my first rodeo, or whatever.
It seems like it is.
You know, you're so negative all the time. It's always this with you. It's always, oh, they're going to wake up. Oh, they're going to tell people. It's never, hey, you guys did a really good job. You know, you guys took out that thing in one round. They didn't even get the chance to fight back. Which, by the way, is also true.
And yet they always wake up and they do tell others.
They wake up because we let them live, Bobble. That's the whole point. And with that, I'm going to look around for a Metal Gear Solid style locker that I can put these bodies into.
I mean, here's the thing. You find none, you are on the road approaching this thing.
Yeah. No, I'm more under the I'm actually looking more for like mining equipment that I might be able to put the bodies into there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you give me... What's up?
You've accidentally thrown their bodies into a wood chipper and they
Yeah. I should have specified into the pilot seat of like a backhoe or something like that, not into the...
Yeah.
You guys remember that episode of Friends where Chandler puts Joey in the wood chipper?
Oh, my favorite one. Easily. But, well, as we're doing this, speaking of Metal Gear Solid, Grail pulls out a cardboard box and just puts it over him and starts sneaking around.
But there's still like cigarette smoke coming from...
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, like, eventually it also, like, Grail gets the cigarette a little too close to the edge of the box and it lights on fire.
Yeah.
And he's now moving around with a partially burning cardboard box, but none of the guards notice it anyway.
It's totally inconspicuous.
One guard starts to notice and his friend hits him and tells him not to be rude.
Yeah. No, one guard starts to notice and then one guard
Yes.
starts to notice and then he's like, must have been the wind, and then goes right back to standing where he was. Yeah.
Incredible.
Why don't you give me...
Peddlers is my favorite Bethesda game.
Hell yeah.
I like when the giants hit you in Skyrim and you go fucking... You just get yeeted.
You see the entire world.
It's at that point it really brings the ragdoll into ragdoll physics.
It's beautiful. It's next level.
Everyone gets mad when Bethesda releases a game that's buggy, and I'm like, you mean the best parts of their games?
I was trying to explain this to my dad one time over Christmas, because I was talking about how Skyrim has like a ton of bugs even after like 10 years. And he was like, why do you play the game if it's bad? And I'm like, that's half of the fun.
It's part of the appeal.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Todd Howard will hunt me if I don't. I noticed your car doesn't have Skyrim installed on it yet.
I think that Todd Howard hunts down people and takes out their brains and installs Skyrim. I think
Skyrim
that's
on
like,
it, yeah. Instead of releasing a new game.
He won't rest until every person has had Skyrim installed and a Neuralink on their brain.
Why don't you give me a deduction obfuscation roll? We will make this a half roll.
Can I roll to evade Todd Howard?
No one can.
Todd Howard feels neither remorse nor pity and will not stop unless killed.
Right.
You
Monster.
need
That is a
you
success.
need 51s.
So I'm going to give you an option here.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you two things. You don't see, you do see mining equipment, but it would take getting into the central compound to put them in.
Okay.
It's not like hanging out outside of the compound. You could tuck them away in one of these rocky, craggy, ravines. You could probably find a cave to tuck them away in. You also know, based on what Midgard said, there's another person who's poking around town. And with what's been going on and how this person interacted with you, they might be cool with this kind of behavior if you approach them the right way. But Madeline Proctor could actually lock them up in her home. You know she's been snooping around town.
I'm gonna go on record as saying I don't like the third idea. That is so many variables. First off, bringing that to Midgard and hoping he's cool with it. Second, Midgard making the introduction to Madeline Proctor. Third, we make a good impression on Madeline Proctor. That is a lot of work to hide bodies.
After we've already made a bad impression.
Yeah. Not to say, I'm sure that if we won, it would probably be the best way to hide these bodies. But man, that is a ton of work. I mean, Grail, do you have any thoughts on this?
It sounds like our best option? I don't know. Grail at this point in time is having, despite his previous paranoia, a certain degree of greater faith in the rest of you. So, tentatively on board?
Okay. Because I'm actually for trying to find a little cavern or something like that. Get them out of the sun, because that's their biggest danger right now.
That are starving or dying of thirst in a
really
cavern.
I really wouldn't want them to get sunstroke or anything.
Yeah, I mean, you made the roll, and you're able to find a cavern to put them in.
Yeah.
I mean, how well it contains them. These are this is the quick and dirty option, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's going to be the best thing. And we're just going to have to hope that whatever we do today, that we get this thing done. Because I will say they are eventually going to wake up and things are going to get a lot more complicated for us when they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, so I say we get these folks to a place of safety, or at least add the elements before we steal their still suits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's an Enviro suit, and yeah, you set it up as if you've worn one before. Who taught you to do this? Sorry. I don't know, it just seemed like the way it was supposed to be put on. I love Dune. Yeah, you tuck these dipshits in a cave. It's out of the sun. It is an open cave though. When they wake up, they're barring homeboy who got shot in the leg, and probably some brain damage for the guys who got knocked out. Let's be honest here, but it's not good for you.
On that note, Freckle does want to communicate to the other two, hey, when I was under that guy and when I was trying to attack him, he wasn't moving normally. He was moving robotically. I almost forgot, with everything else that happened, but something's really up with these folks. They're not just acting, it wasn't just our impression of things that they were acting weird yesterday. I think they're fucked up in some way. I don't know if they're undead or what, but they're in some kind of a trance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you guys have 3 rebreathers, which will definitely protect your lungs as you enter into the enter into the mine proper. I will say that it comes with a cowl, so to avoid detection, that kind of thing, you'll be adding a +1 to your die rolls.
Fantastic.
That being said, you know it connects to a larger suit, so that might be something to be aware of before trying to delve into the mine proper. There's a whole compound up here. So you're just going to have to tell me how you guys want to approach things now.
Okay, well, at this point in time, Grail is absolutely in full stealthy paranoia mode. And I'm assuming, like, it's the mine again is closed to the public, but there are still miners with those 10K, 10K yard stairs working there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're cowls, right? As you said, the suits have cowls. This is a very specific one, but have we noticed the miners are like all of a particular like ethnicity, or like are we dealing with a rainbow coalition of exploited laborers here?
It is kind of a rainbow coalition of exploited laborers here. There's a bit of everyone. You're seeing like less embryophyte than you would normally see. I mean, not normally. It's just like, it's the desert. Embryophyte don't love it necessarily.
Yeah.
So that, and like maybe less polyutar, but there's still some present. There's probably, that there's probably in the town, I believe actually, you were told this last night, that there is probably a good 25-30 miners total. Well, 3 less now.
How many Arache compared to the rest of the crew?
It's pretty evenly divided among Arache, human, and tunnelers, with a couple builders, embryophytes, and polyutar kind of sprinkled in. That being said, you're like examining this, Adam. I think this is give me a deduction holistics roll, because you're trying to discern how many people there are, that kind of thing.
Yeah, deduction holistics. Excellent.
Say holistics, because that's cool.
Holistics. That is 4 d12s in this case.
Hell yeah! This is not an expert roll. I will say that you're going to be rolling. You're going to need 2 successes because you guys are kind of under the pressure of trying to stay hidden.
Yeah. Well, I just rolled a 1, so that explodes.
Hell yeah!
11, an 8, and a 3. So a 1. 3, 8, 11, 12.
Okay. So a 1 and a 3 is going to take you there. Like I said, that's like the makeup of what you're seeing. You're also noticing that like these miners are milling about. No one's like talking to each other. They're just kind of standing. Which is probably not what you'd expect.
Yeah.
You would assume that, again, considering this is an important extractive resource industry, that they would be running about and the foreman would be shouting them to put your backs into it. If they were just standing there, but the fact that everyone's just sort of like swaying, a little weird.
Yeah, to be clear, aside from the sound of labor, no one talking, like not even something in the background, nothing.
So you guys are in the exterior of the mine. So this isn't where mining is happening necessarily. This is the compound above, which is also maybe more off-putting because you'd expect people to be talking at least in their off time, right?
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Like within the mine, you can kind of hear through the steel-slatted doors the sound of labor, but you're not hearing, again, voices. People are moving, and then just stopping and standing.
Okay, yeah. That's even weirder. So we're basically in the break room and no one is saying a damn thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's unusual.
Yeah,
Grail
that's...
is now for once rightfully apprehensive about everything.
Yeah, I told all of you.
Yeah. Vindication by Yellow Card is just playing in Grail's head. Shit. Okay, well, I guess we can't talk from this point on. If we're trying to blend in, anyways.
Yeah, just tell me what you guys want to... Actually, let me explain to you. So you are in the... because you got that deduction roll, too. You're at this main gate entrance. In through here... Actually, are you all on the same page I am? No, you aren't. Of course not. This is... There was a whole combat that took place and you guys didn't even... I guess we didn't... Yeah, I guess we didn't need it, but... Yeah, that's fine. So, right through here, you guys can see this map, right?
You are on Starlight Mine's exterior?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see this.
Can Adam and Zarkus? Grail and Zarkus, rather?
Yes, and that is quite a mine.
Yes, so in through this, that is the main entrance to the mine itself. There is mining equipment stored in the... Well, it looks like mining equipment stored in these. You can kind of see the makeout of, like, bunks through here. And then there's movement over these platforms, taking out things.
Interesting. Yeah, so again, work's still happening, mining ore still happening, ore being extracted still happening, nobody talking.
Actually... Give me actually, let's not call this let's call this a deduction roll. We are going to call this a clockwork roll. This is a best roll. Again, you're going to need 2 best because you still have that pressure. If anyone wants to help Adam, you can just join this roll as well by doing clockwork deduction.
Yeah,
Grail got 6.
Grail got 12, 2, 3, and 4.
That's 1 success.
2. That's 1 success. Zarkus, you want to jump on board?
Bass?
Sorry?
Do you want to give us Corey, what was it? Deduction clockwork?
Deduction best.
Deduction clockwork?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
You're looking for 1 and 2.
I got a 1 and 2.
That'll do it. Reroll that 1.
Yeah, I
Oh, okay, I see. You got a 1 and a 2. So that's 3 successes. Yeah. You have an extra success. So let me tell you a couple things. They are, Adam, still pulling out these crystalline fibers, but they're not treating them as they're pulling them out of the mine with, like, the tenderness, I guess you'd expect. They're not going anywhere. They're just pulling them out of the mine and, like, dumping them. The, like, actual refining machines that are outside of here aren't even running. And you'd expect that they need to refine it on site.
Yeah.
So that's not being done. They are pulling it out of the mine, however.
Okay, so the raw extraction is still happening. The refining, though, is dead.
The raw extraction is happening, but it's not being, like, concertedly... Nothing's being concertedly done with it. It's just being dumped out of the mine.
Weird. Just like an untouched piles.
Yeah.
That's
Does there seem to be any
And-
pattern to the piles? Any method to that
Yeah.
madness at all?
No.
Okay. Fuck me.
weird.
Yeah. Okay, so table talk really quick. The thing we can absolutely be assured of is that they're not interested in the crystalline fibers, right? That's what the mine is built for, but it's clearly not what they're prioritizing right now. If anything, that's junk to them, or at least that's how they're treating it. They're treating it like waste product.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, what are they valuing? And then obviously, why, how, what, all that.
Yeah. Certainly weird.
There's like a ton of weird shit going on here.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe our best bet is to find the foreman and squeeze it out of him.
Maybe. I guess.
See, I'm almost wondering. Well, rather Zarkus is almost wondering, due to their non-confrontational nature, they're almost wondering if they can bullshit this by taking the wasted quote-unquote crystalline fibers, stuff them into crates, and take them back to Ishtas.
Well, I mean, that'll certainly make the client happy as far as, well, of course, by the time they figure out that it's just us bringing home the shipment, we'll be long gone. We'll have collected payment.
I will say, because of the role that you did take, that the refining machines aren't running. What they are getting is the refined fibers from this. So to make good on that delivery, you would have to find a way to refine this.
Is there anyone currently manning the refinery machines?
So,
Yeah.
My bet is there's
The
not,
refinery-
right?
I mean, there isn't.
But when we turn it on, that's a problem.
It will definitely. I mean, it will definitely make noise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But would that noise really be out of the ordinary if it's within the mines anyway?
I think that it wouldn't be out of the ordinary in the ordinary mine, but in whatever state the mine is in now, I don't know, something's sketchy with these guys. And I definitely think that turning on those machines, I definitely think that's going to alert them.
Fair enough.
We can do it if that's what you guys agree on. I'll leave this up to Grail because it seems like we're divided on this. But I definitely think that's going to set off alarm bells.
Yeah, I'm a little wary of apprehending the foreman.
Yeah, to be
I
fair,
don't know,
that would also set off alarm bells.
Yeah, I don't know. The question is should we just go into the mines and pantomime working just to see if we see any suspicious shit?
So-
that's also an option.
Yeah, I think we absolutely should do that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're going to see a lot of suspicious shit. But maybe actually that's the best plan right now, just because that'll give us it'll give us more information than we have at this point.
It'll let us develop our strategy a little more.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Grail
Cool.
is sitting there, and he's both talking to himself and talking to the rest of you under his breath. He's like, "They're known knowns, and they're known unknowns, and they're unknown knowns, and unknown unknowns. And we're dealing with a lot of unknown unknowns."
Which is the least positive thing you can have.
Yeah, and Freckle doesn't understand any of this, but they're just like staring and yeah.
Yeah, and Grail says, so we really need to figure out the known unknowns. Because if there are too many unknown knowns, then we're going to end up with a bunch of unknown unknowns, and we don't want to have those because you can't do anything with unknown unknown. But we need to really figure out things because we don't have enough known knowns. Grail is also confusing himself at this point, so let's go into the mine.
Right?
I don't know. None of us do.
Okay, that being said, the mine has sort of like, in the same way the estate did, like a hermetically sealed door. And you're seeing the miners that are coming out are actually wearing full suits that the cowl and the rebreather attaches into, which you guys don't have. You can enter the mine without it. No one else is. One thing to be aware of, and there might be some environmental dangers to that, just so you guys are on the same page. That being said, you do know that there's mining equipment in here, as well as in here, actual quarters that people are staying in.
Okay. I definitely think let's go with Grail's initial plan of check out the mine proper. I don't want to get into these smaller quarters until I've got a little bit more information, just because getting trapped in there, a lot less wiggle room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Into the mines.
All right. Into the mines you go. As you guys make it through the, start moving through the quarters of the compound, there's a tension in the air the more you move through. Let's find some mine music, right?
Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. See what,
Once we got that plan, I'm going to turn off the background music on the stream.
I'm just gonna try to find like ambience. So,
Hell yeah.
Mining. I feel like I haven't talked to anyone watching our stream in a while because I can't look at Twitch when I'm doing this.
You know, not to be a bummer about it, but like, I don't know. I think that El Dragoon has moved to a Wednesday streaming thing, and I haven't seen McNancy the last couple of weeks. I don't know if our chat just needs to be updated or what. Like, I hope they're not
Well,
just
I know
messaging and I'm not seeing it, but I haven't seen it.
L is streaming tonight.
Okay.
So I know that. Yeah, we'll do that. That's fine. That'll work. There's tension in the air the more you move towards this mine. And it's like a static.
Mm-hmm.
The closer you move, the more present it is. Everyone, why don't you give me a obfuscation skullduggery roll? This is going to be a 2 half roll, and you can all do this as a joint roll. Between the three of you, you need to get 2 successes.
Okay, yeah. Grail has pretty decent obfuscation and skullduggery, so that's going to be 2 d8s for yours truly here.
That's pretty good.
That's
two
a-
D12s from me.
That's a 3 and a 4 on Grail's end.
All right.
That's a 1 and a 2 and a 12
All right.
from Zarkus.
That is a 4 for Freckle.
I believe that's 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. You needed 2. So that's 2 extra successes. Do you guys want to set up anything environmentally as you're entering that you can spend those extra successes on?
I'm almost thinking that, like, you know, because we technically didn't come in with like the proper suits. I'm almost wondering if there are like some suits off to the side that like Miner can grab in case something happened.
Yeah. If you guys want to spend both your successes, I'll say there's 3 suits there.
Is there anything else that you guys can think of that would contribute better than that?
The only thing, I don't know how much space is in this mine, but I really love the idea that there's a parked vehicle that we could potentially use as a extreme last measure getaway vehicle, should things really go haywire. But the suits also are probably a good investment, especially if we're going to be walking around. Grail, what do you think?
That sounds about right. I think Grail is mostly concerned with like the double priorities of A, hiding ourselves, or at least obscuring ourselves, and B, getting the fuck out of Dodge if things start to seem fishy, or rather we alert our presence in an unwanted way.
So you guys are taking the suits?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
suits.
are.
Okay, cool. You guys enter the mine, and that hermetic door behind you shuts, and immediately as you enter, you can feel it. It's almost like this dirty feeling, but it's like tiny lacerations all over your body as you enter. And thankfully, at the entrance, you see these environmental suits. 3 of them are available, and you guys are able to put them on. That being said, had you not had these suits, you'd be taking the bleeding condition as you went through this mine. So good move.
Hell yeah, Bass, thank you.
I can be smart sometimes.
Hey, little guy. We have a surprise guest.
Do I wanna?
Aw.
I don't think. Yeah, we'll stay in the X. Oh, that's a kitty.
It's a
Yeah.
kid.
That's a kitty.
That's a cat.
Someone gives it. Is that Orange Boy?
It's
orange.
one of 2 orange boys.
You got
both of
2
my-
orange cats?
Both of my sons are orange.
Incredible. I love orange cats.
They're the best.
Mm-hmm.
They're the best, and they also all collectively share one brain cell.
One brain cell.
That is
my
why.
orange cat, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I had a black cat who had emotional problems.
They all do. That's the trait all black cats share.
Yeah.
I have-
Is being generally disturbed. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I've got 2 black cats, and I love it for the goth aesthetic. But yeah, no, it's all emotional problems.
But you enter the mine, and it's bright in here. There isn't any sort of lighting strung up. It's the ambient lighting from these crystalline fibers, these big, large swaths of them sticking out of the wall, and you could almost pull them apart. They're like these big crystals, and it's like glass the way they break apart from themselves. And what you see outside is the refining machines pulling them into these fine threads. But inside, the air is like bioluminescent with the glow of these things. It's not just on the crystals in the walls sticking out of the caverns. It's floating everywhere around you. And much like outside, people inside aren't talking, but they are moving in very concerted efforts. They're pulling crystals out from deeper inside the mine, and you see like down these tunnels through the gully works of these mines, you see the machinery running, pumping these crystals out, and they're moving at a fervent pace, trying to pull things out. And Grail, it's then you can hear it again. The song you heard last night, and it's louder here.
Oh shit.
And it's pulling you, beckoning you back through these mines, deeper.
What are the other 2 of us feeling? We don't get this at all?
No, you're not hearing it.
Interesting.
but Grail's definitely hearing it.
Yeah, it is a song that you are hearing, and it is a deep thrumming tune, and it is louder here than it was the night before.
I mean, is it a bop?
I was about to say,
It's a kind of bop.
Can you give us like a taste? Is it?
It's almost like a mournful shanty. Yeah, and it's called like
A shanty, you say?
Boom, 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 boom.
It's like a war song.
Like the kind of song that pirates would sing.
Yeah, I mean, is this the call of the Nectarines?
The call of the nectarine is a very different thing. It's delicious.
Yeah, I mean, for a second, it's kind of like Grimdark Oompa Loompas, but
My brain immediately goes to The Mandarins by Simone de Beauvoir, and so I just think of a 1940s French existentialist novel.
But that is interesting. It sounds, I mean, I'm assuming Grail would have no understanding of, like, Nocturne musical traditions.
Probably. Well, I mean, let's take a roll. I think that, like, this is probably a history lore kind of thing.
Y'all, I think
Probably holistics. Probably holistics traversal, honestly.
Two things that Grail is
Grail's
right.
very good at these things.
Let's go. Corey, it's a 1.
Sick.
And a 10.
Okay. So, it's... The history of the Nocturne is, like, a convoluted one, but you know that they dragoon people. That is something that they do. And people come back after being gone for years with no to very little memory of what went on to their lives during that period. Flashes of being on these iron ships, sailing in the sky, working as deckhands, allegedly. And you know that some people are born after these events with the twisted mask of the Nocturne, even though they are not members of that particular, I don't know, group, species, whatever you want to call them. So they leave an effect on things. That there would be some sort of thrall in an empty vessel. I mean, it possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know they call people and keep people like glamored in some way.
Interesting. Yeah, and so Grail is starting to put 2 and 2 together here, and it seems very clear that like these sort of the thrum, the nightly nocturnal thrum of the Nocturne ship, mixed with the fact that everyone here looks like they've basically been pithed, is giving the impression that Grail is making a deduction, if you will, that in this conduct here among those who are working in the mines is somewhat reminiscent of those who are abducted and brainwashed by the Tangerines.
Of course.
I love that it's getting further and further from the original thing each time.
Yeah. Yeah.
The citric acid boys.
The grapefruit pirates.
It's my fault for naming them, honestly.
Name on its own terms, but just never underestimate how snide your players can be.
It's true.
It's an important lesson.
I mean, I'm probably one of the worst of offenders, so that's fair.
What, you?
Especially... Yeah, I'm bad. Well, it's not my fault that Roll20 now gave me the opportunity to paste GIFs in the chat, which is honestly, like, their fault.
Fucking,
Corey.
My very serious, like, samurai drama has never been the same ever since they let you put Jiffy stuff into the chat.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make Zoe of Delphi happen.
my not to disrupt our flow here. My cat is currently in my lap, but also like has his paw on my desk and is just clawing at anything within reach. So I'm moving like my headphones, a napkin, papers away, so my cat doesn't like absolutely maul it. And it's just both half asleep and determinedly trying to claw at anything within reach. And I think it has achieved peak cat. Anyway,
Peak orange cat.
Are you guys trying to move deeper in this mine?
Grail is scared as hell now, and he shares his surmising with and his conclusions with the rest of you. Whether or not you think Grail is completely full of it is up to you, because assuming Grail is full of it is a safe conclusion at least 50% of the time. But Grail is both again apprehensive but like compelled to find things out. So Grail is probably one for delving further into the mines.
Yeah,
To
no,
see what the
I'm very
Yeah.
much down with that.
Zarkus feels very similarly, where they're apprehensive. They definitely feel something there, like, what the fuck is going on in here? But you know, their curiosity and their drive to get to the bottom of their contract is I guess pushing over their apprehensiveness here.
Indeed. So, you are all